Hello, this is Mr. Dring from Fulford School, and this video is for computing students or teachers or parents wanting to get started with the free weekly Python remote learning resources on live.withcode.uk. So there's two ways to access this. Anyone can join in on live.withcode.uk without needing to set anything up. Should work on most devices. And each week there's a new episode, usually published on a Wednesday. We're up to episode 28 at the time of recording. Starts with a YouTube video, and then where we build up a code. We build up some Python code, each week. Some students choose to watch the whole video, some mute it and play it at double speed with captions, some don't watch it at all. But the idea is, if sometimes you look at some Python code and you just don't get it, these videos show live coding, which doesn't mean that you see it in real time. It means that you see the program put together from start to finish, and there's kind of a commentary that explains what each line does and the thought processes behind it. So you can see what we're working towards and talk you through the design decisions as you go through. So that's the YouTube video. They're normally about 10 minutes. And then the code that we build up in those videos links to the 4 online resources. So I want to show you how you can do those as part of a competition. So your school can sign up for a free account so your teachers can track your progress. And if they do that, they'll share something that looks like this with you with a link, which you either scan on your smartphone or click on here. It takes you to the same place. And also a code that you'll need to join in. Now, this is a temporary code to join you into my awesome Year 10 computer science class. I'll change this after this video, so you won't be able to try it with this here. But hopefully your teacher has set up your free competition group so that you can compete against your friends. So I want to show you what that looks like, how you can get started. When you follow that link, it will ask you to sign in if you've not been before. I've just added Teams integration. We use Teams at my school for online learning. So if you have a Microsoft account, you should be able to sign in with that one. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, there we go. So it'll ask you to sign in. First time you do that, it will probably ask for your consent to access your profile. It's just so that it can set up a free account for you, but that personal information won't be shared with anyone. You won't be contacted by me or anyone else as a result of signing up. Then it will ask you to join the group, and at this point it will ask you for that code. Remember, the code is on the bottom of the certificate, the PDF that your teacher has given you. For now, it's test 1, 2, 3, but it'll be different whatever your teacher sets up. So that at that point, you will see all of the resources. Now, if your teacher has joined the weekly competitions, then you'll see in yellow the most recent ones, and in white underneath all of the previous ones. Or you could filter it out to only show this week's activity if you want. And so all of the resources that you see on live.withcode.uk are also then on your competition group, just to make it a bit easier for you to find. So there's no points for watching the YouTube video, which is why a lot of my students don't bother watching it. But then this type race one is the first one that gets you points. So let's have a look. So the idea is the code that you see coming together in the video is the code that you have to type out as fast as you possibly can. I'm going to do terribly at this whilst I'm talking, but the idea is, I find a lot of my students sometimes understand the programming concepts, but they get really frustrated because although they can think through the concepts in code, their typing speed and accuracy just isn't up to scratch. So they get really frustrated, spending ages faffing around trying to type out what they are thinking through. So this is to try and build up your speed and your accuracy in touch typing. You want to get to the point where you can type without looking at your fingers, using all of your fingers at the same time. This is really hard to do whilst talking and also typing. I won't do the whole thing. But all of the speed that you work through and your progress, how far you get through, gets added to your tests, your challenge group scores. So I've got 86 points. I think you can get up to 200 points maximum for a type race. Then you've got the code itself. So this is the code that we built up together in the video. So there's often some challenges down at the bottom to be able to work through. So this code, you type in a password and it'll tell you how strong it is. You've got some challenges to work through, but no points for your competition for that at the moment. You do get lots of points for the K-Pride activities. So again, for K-Pride, you start with the same code. And it's gone through a bit like an exam question where you get some code and you've got to identify certain programming concepts. It's the same here. So it's identified that there's an arithmetic operator lurking somewhere in this Python code. An arithmetic operator is something that performs an arithmetic, so a mathematical function. So you just click on the line number and you get some points if you get it right. So assignment means setting the value. A built-in subprogram, it gives you a definition of what it is. You've got to try and find it, and the more you find, the more points you get. So something built into Python like len to find the length of something. There we go. So those points that we've got should get added into our competition. Let's see. Yep, 16 points so far. So that was just the keywords activity. There's also, a predict. So you look at the code and you try and write down what the code will do. So let's see, test the strength. Can't spell and type at the same time. Still can't do it. Of a password. And then when you run it, it should remind you what your prediction was and see if you're right. Yep, did it happen? Yes, it did. Screenshot that if your teacher's asked you to. Investigate, you can work through the challenges at the bottom. And debug, it will deliberately sabotage your code, and you got to try and build up your confidence fixing those common mistakes. And then finally, there's always a bit of an extension. I think this week's was just keywords related to built-in subprograms. So we need to zap that bug, a program which you can use with Python without having to define it yourself, e.g. a built-in library or a subprogram. So it's not a function. I'm going to get it wrong. You get the idea. So that's it. The more points you get, the more the better you will be compared to your students. You won't see their names, but you can see I'm lurking kind of bottom of the table. Your teacher will be able to track your progress and hopefully will arrange some prizes or some rewards for you. New episodes tend to be released on a Wednesday, and if you've got any ideas and suggestions, I'm definitely open to any feedback. So all the very best for remote learning. Look after yourselves, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.